Hi, I'm MJ from Lioness Publications, and we're going to start doing some sessions on what's going on around the world. I didn't want to start this over the weekend. Uh, I think some of it could be a little daunting to people because there is quite a bit going on. First thing we're going to be looking at is Nicolás Maduro. Uh, he's the leader of Venezuela. And currently, Trump has sent down quite a few ships to, I believe it's to patrol the waters off his country. So this is setting up for possibly some type of event. And it's not the only one that's happening. I've looked at a few charts, and like I said, I didn't want to do this before the Labor Day weekend. I didn't want people to watch stuff like that. Now that Labor Day is over with, everyone hopefully had a good weekend. We can start looking at some of the things that bear watching. So we're going to look at Nicolás Maduro first. We're going to look at his transits, his progression, and his solar arc. And what we're trying to get an idea of is, and his charts were set up for September 1st. He is in a position of being pressured. So we want to get an idea of what he is currently under the influence of, because that'll let us know how he can possibly react in any type of confrontation. And that's pretty much what's going to be coming probably from Trump. So let's take a look at our natal chart first. And by the way, Nicolás Maduro's date of birth is November 23rd, 1962. We don't have a time, so I'm just using 11:30. It's sort of midway between on that day. So there are a few angles we want to take a look at. And you'll note that we do have one area here which has a few little colors to it. And another one too. So that's an indication that, okay, there's one area that's being hit by the transits. And in this case, this is his identity. And his identity would be as a leader of a country. And in this case, if he was a normal person, he was having angles to that point, it would be pretty much, hitting him directly, but it wouldn't be affecting the country. In this case, since he's a leader of a country, angles hitting that would, especially his identity, in effect as a leader, is going to possibly impact the country. So let's take a look at our first angle here, and that is Pluto conjuncting the South Node. Now, Pluto is what? It's control, it's manipulation. What's South Node? It's where we give out. What's happening here is that he's probably getting a lot of pressure, and it's building up. So he's fearing a loss of any authority. Because again, South Node is where we give out. Now, this actually happened, back around the middle of July. So this posturing going on with Trump has probably been going on for a month, 2 months. So he's starting to feel pressure from that. And this is what this is showing. Now, the next thing we have, is I want to get the dates right here. And this goes back to around 7:30. And that's Uranus is opposing the sun. Uranus is change, can be rebellion. And that's what's coming to what? His identity. What is his identity? As a leader of the country. So in effect, he's also, and this is an opposition, it's a difficult angle. This identifies that he's going to have disruption to his identity. Something wants to come in to change that, and in effect, he doesn't want to have that changed. So it's a challenge to him. Now, this could indicate a collapse, but we don't see that yet. We're seeing, in effect, that opposition. Let's see. We did that one. Okay. Next one we have is on the 2nd of September, which is tomorrow. We have Saturn trining Mercury. That's a good angle. But if we look at this, we're seeing that Mercury would be things like communication, speeches, the media. Saturn is, in effect, focused on that. So what's happening? He's focused on his speech, in effect, over media, and to make sure that he has control, in effect, over the propaganda that's going out. Now, if he wasn't an authoritarian leader, this would not, in effect, be such a negative view of this Saturn trine Mercury. It would have been a little bit positive. But since he is a authoritarian, this means that he is going to control to fit his story. Now, our next one is on 9/19, and that's going to be Neptune trining the sun. So Neptune on the sun, which is his identity, it's a good angle. Neptune is going to soften his image. It's going to make him more likable. Could also try to add some charisma to him. So in effect, it's all being done to make sure that there's nothing to sort of point to say there's something wrong here. So it is a very, calculated effort to control how people look at him. Now, the next one we have is on 10/26, and that's going to be Neptune trining Neptune. This is where we move from just simply controlling, where we now influence. So we're really pushing out the propaganda now. So trying to take, in effect, party line, the ideology, and it's being pushed out, in effect, from his voice. And that's going to be propagated over the media, over speeches. Now, since Neptune is involved, there's usually some type of attempt to make the leader have charisma, have some, emotional appeal to it, so people will go along with that. Now, that's on the transits. So what we're seeing here is his identity is under attack by Uranus, but he feels that he can bolster that up by keeping to a strict message and influence the people. Now, Neptune is actually being trined. So in that case, that is actually definitely feels like he can control that. But he does feel that his power is threatened. So let's take a look at our next chart, which is the progression. And in this case, we've got 3 that I want to touch on here. The first one is Mars conjuncting Mars. And this is sort of a strange one because progression always moves forward. And Mars has moved from its original position, but then it's now come back to the position it was at birth. So what is this identifying? Mars on Mars, very aggressive behavior. He's going to feel like he can win anything, like he's invincible. There's also going to be a lot of posturing with this. And this would have been before July 1st when this happened. So maybe this is something that got him being noticed. And one of the reasons maybe why Trump is doing this power play now with him. So in this case, impulsive. Not great, but that has been moving away. So hopefully he's still not impulsive. Next thing we have on 11/14, we have Jupiter trining Neptune. Again, this is positive in that he's taking opportunities to what? To build up his illusion. the myths about him. So in effect, he will be feeding the media in his country all these good things about him. Okay, so that they will believe that he is in this for the people. So illusion, that's what Neptune is. It's the illusion is being elevated here. And that's being elevated by Jupiter coming in. Now, next we have, what's the next one here? Yeah, okay. Sun is going to be in conjunct to Uranus. Sun is the identity of who he is now. And what is it breaking and adjusting against? Change. He doesn't want change. Who he is now does not want change. Okay. Now, in effect, this is the change in his chart, though. So his new identity has to somehow make some type of changes to be able to probably stay in power. Because this indicates there's going to be upheaval, instability, destabilization, because this is change. And what's coming down? His identity. He's coming down on that change. So difficult for him not to change, but he has to change. So what is this telling us? Destabilization. So we do have a chance that he may be losing power, but that probably wouldn't be until January. So let's take a look at our next piece, which is the solar arc. And on the solar arc, what we want to take a look at is, first thing is right here, Pluto, conjuncting both Venus and Neptune. Now, this already happened. Now, what's Venus and Neptune? It's the allure. Venus, in effect, is communities. Neptune is trying to make almost like a cult. So it's causing an illusion that should be alluring. And that's how he's using control. So in effect, control is coming to this. His ability to use his communication, his appeal to the communities, and that appeal is through the Neptune. Now that's where this is coming from. So he feels like he can still control his country. He feels that he can get people to believe in him, to believe in what he can promise to them. That's important. Now, both Venus and Neptune, though, are in conjunct Mars. What's this? Well, this ability to influence, this ability of the community, is actually in cross purposes to Mars, his Mars. And this is a break and adjust. So what this comes across as is he's going to be saying, well, I'm going to save you people. When in effect, what's he going to do? He's going to have aggression against the people. So this is a difficult one for him to realize and for him to act on. So it indicates that there might also be some power struggles going on. So is this looking right now that we're going to have some type of reaction from Maduro? It doesn't appear to be, from what I'm seeing. It appears more that he is afraid of he's worried about losing power, but he's going to push most of that into controlling his people. I'm not seeing any overt action against, for example, the fleet of ships. I could be wrong. And the reason I say I could be wrong is because Neptune is also, in effect, think of it as water, maybe ships coming in, and that could be threatening to him, I bet. But I'm not seeing anything else overt that would say, yes, he's going to, make some type of aggressive act against the ships that are being sent down. But we'll have to see. This is probably going to be playing out for the next few months. And this is one of many things that are playing out. Now, the next thing I will be doing is bringing up Venezuela's chart. So that might actually tell us a little bit more. So maybe he's, in effect, more concerned with keeping power and keeping his country in line, but maybe the country itself has different ideas. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great evening.